So today we conclude our reading of Ecclesiastes. I told you last week what I think of the book. This week our assignment had to do with contemplating that there are no guarantees in life. We can't figure life out, that bad things happen to good people and the race doesn't always go to the swift. And we also contemplate that everybody dies. Well, in response, I want to talk about two things that have been on my mind this week: football and dogs. Football, because we're finally back into college football, which I love very much. And dogs, because we had our dog blessing last week, and I got to see a lot of dogs, and I love dogs too. The Alabama football team under Coach Saban has had a lot of success, but it doesn't win every game. We lost to LSU last year. We lost to Auburn last year. But I would like to suggest that our losses are exceptions. Alabama these days wins most of its football games because of hard work, planning, good players, and staying faithful to what the coach calls the process. I think the same is true for us. I think if we live according to God's teachings, God's process, that is, take the focus off ourselves, care for others, quit taking shortcuts that compromise our integrity, try to serve God and do the work of Jesus Christ, most of the time we'll live better, fuller, richer lives. Now, there's no guarantee that bad things won't happen to us. In fact, I can almost guarantee that bad things occasionally will happen to us. Bad things happen in a football game too. But the secret in dealing with them is to trust God. Trust that God is still in charge and that evil never has the last word. So, while there are no guarantees, if we stay faithful to the process, most of the time our lives will be better. When we were blessing the dogs, I looked around at people and their affection for their animals, and I thought, when you get a dog, you know that probably you're going to outlive that dog. So if you get attached to the dog, if you love the dog, if you let the dog into your heart's going to be broken. You also know that occasionally the dog is going to do stuff you don't like. Maybe use the bathroom in the wrong place, or chew up a favorite shoe, or bark at the wrong time. So why get a dog if you know that the dog is occasionally going to do bad things, and you know that the dog is probably going to die? Because it's still worth it. It's still worth it to experience the love and the joy and the delight and the loyalty and all the wonderful things that a dog can bring into our lives. I've owned a lot of dogs. I've had my heart broken a number of times, and yet I still think it's worth it. That's the way life is too. We're going to get our hearts broken. It's still a good idea to love. It's still a good idea to open our hearts, because the joy we experience through loving more than outweighs the heartbreak. Death is inevitable. But life is also inevitable if we are faithful to Jesus Christ, who promises life after death, eternal life, where our cups of joy runneth over.